Welcome back to PFT Live, presented by Accenture. On Sunday, Texans linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair applied a vicious hit to Trevor Lawrence, the Jaguars quarterback. Lawrence was concussed. Al-Shaair was ejected. We're awaiting what many expect will be a suspension from the NFL. Yesterday, DeMeco Ryans, Texans head coach, addressed the situation with reporters. Here's some of what he had to say.
With the entire Azeez, situation, we stand behind Azeez and everything, that came from that. Of course, he unfortunately hit on the quarterback, but it's twofold, right? I mean, a lot of the quarterbacks in this day and age, they try to take advantage of the rule where they slide late and they try to get an extra yard. And now you're a defender, a lot of onus is on the defender, right? Whether it's on the sideline or where it's on the quarterback, you don't know what a guy's thinking. You don't know if a guy's standing up and he's continuing to run. You don't know. And then you get a late slide and you hit the guy. Unfortunate that Trevor got hurt. Hope Trevor is okay, but it's also, if we're sliding, we have to get down. If we're getting out of bounds, we get out of bounds, and that rule is there to protect the quarterbacks, and we want our quarterbacks to be safe in the league, so we just have to be safe. If we're sliding, make sure we're keeping our heads down. So, and the entire thing is, Azeez hits the guy, but their sideline overreacts, and it turns into a melee. It wasn't our guys, it's their team overreacted, pushed our guy, dragging our guy to the sideline, so that's uncalled for on that side. We have to be better on the sidelines as well with both teams.
I don't disagree with the last part, but they didn't unreasonably react. They reacted to one of the most vicious hits we've ever seen in the post-safety era of the NFL, the last 15 years, when they realized they better take this concussion situation seriously and enforce their rules and expand their rules accordingly. But, Devin, it's a minefield for DeMeco Ryans to try to tiptoe through. This isn't the sideline okey-doke that quarterbacks used to do where they act like they're going to walk out of bounds, the defensive player pulls up, and they run 15 extra yards. This isn't the Patrick Mahomes. Everyone's afraid to touch him when he's on the sideline because they think he's about to step out of bounds and they're going to give up 15 yards. And this definitely isn't Kenny Pickett fake slide. Remember, he did that at Pitt his last year. This was a real slide. There was no hesitation. It was a textbook routine play. And Al-Shaair came in hot, forearm first to the head, and the head off the ground. I think Lawrence got two concussions there. Forearm to the head, head to the ground. This was not an effort by Lawrence to get any extra yardage. It was a standard quarterback run and slide.
I agree. I think, and there's a lot to address in this situation. I think the way Jacksonville reacted was how you should react. This is your quarterback who just took a vicious hit. I think you would have to be worried a lot as a team if your guys don't react to your quarterback getting hit like that. And I think DeMeco Ryans is addressing an issue in the league overall. I think more than that play. That play to me was clear. The guy slides, you got to break down. As a defensive guy, you got to see the quarterback coming. You got to buzz your feet and be ready to wrap and roll to get him on the ground. It's not back in the day where the quarterback rolls and the eyes get big because you're going to take the quarterback out. You can't think that way. You can't go in there thinking, I'm going to kill this quarterback, because you have to give him time to slide. And to me right there, he didn't give him time to slide. He just ran in there, and no matter what, he was going at an angle to take out Trevor Lawrence. If he stayed up, he was going to take him out at his legs, midsection area. If he slid, we saw exactly what was going to happen. And to me, he had time to change. As he's in the air and he sees the slide, he could have opened his hands. He could have tried. Forearm in front, to me, you can't do. But I think what DeMeco Ryans is talking about is when they sat and filmed this week, Trevor Lawrence is a runner. He's a guy that doesn't always slide. He can run. He can make plays. And I think defenses they're getting kind of angry because now when this guy decides to run and we watch film and we watch these guys have big runs, you watch Drake May in New England, you watch Lamar Jackson, you watch Josh Allen, you watch these different quarterbacks have these runs where they're running over guys, they're making plays. And then we get out there, and as a defender, I'm told I got to always make this situation correct. And that's a lot of pressure. And I think they probably talked about it during the week. Hey, we got to be ready when Lawrence runs. He can run. We got to be ready to get him on the ground. And again, the play was played wrong. But I think DeMeco Ryans is addressing that overall situation of, how am I supposed to teach these guys to be ready to tackle some big, strong guys if I'm telling them they got to be careful because they might slide, they might not slide? And I think that's what he's trying to address. Is this the right timing and kind of blaming Trevor Lawrence? No, like you can't do that. But I do. I think fake sliding should be a penalty. I don't think you should be able to fake slide or kind of tiptoe to the sideline. I think that makes it impossible for defenders. I think guys should be penalized the same way guys are penalized for hitting these guys when they shouldn't.
But see, that's the difference. This was not a situation of any attempt by Trevor Lawrence to pull a fast one. He ran and he slid. And you said it, like, we hear the argument all the time when a defenseless receiver is hit in the head by a corner who's coming in, and you have to adjust your target while you've committed to hitting a guy like in mid body movement. You've got to go from here to here. Like, that's not realistic, but it's realistic to expect Al-Shaair, when he's coming in with that forearm, like, he knows exactly what he's doing. He can drop that forearm. He can throw his body away from making that contact. He committed to that, and he didn't let go, and I think that's the problem. So, yes, I agree. There are quarterbacks out there who take liberties with that protection. They take advantage of it. That's a problem. That wasn't what happened here. And Ryan said Sunday, we don't coach what Al-Shaair did. But in coaching them up, as you're suggesting, this is a guy who runs. You got to be ready to go hit him. When he becomes a runner, he's no different than a tailback. You hear that kind of stuff. There's an obligation on the coaching staff to say, but if he goes into a slide, all bets are off. If he goes out of bounds, all bets are off. Because, number one, it's the right thing to do. And number two, they are going to flag you more quickly if you hit a quarterback than if you do that to a running back. And we know a running back's never going to slide. We know the one guy that's going to slide is the quarterback, and you have to be ready to back off the moment that he goes into his slide. And I don't know whether or not the Texans were coached on that point as they got ready for Trevor Lawrence. If they were, Al-Shaair must have been asleep or absent or just defiant because he clearly didn't take the coaching.
Yeah, I mean, in this league, you got guys, and we watch every Sunday, and we're sitting there, and I'm like, man, that guy's a headhunter. He's knocking people's heads off. He's running full speed. He's attacked. I think Shaair, I think that's the type of player he is. So legit, all other 10 guys on the field could have been in that situation and played it 10 times better. He's a guy that likes running full speed, and when he makes tackles, he's trying to hit you, and he's not trying to knock you out and do it, but he's trying to make you feel that he hit you. And there's guys like that who have made a career in the NFL because they play that style. And I think Shaair is one of those guys. That's how he plays. He plays that way. And I think Al-Shaair is coming. He has to adjust, and he doesn't adjust. And I think that's his style of play. It's wrong. You can't do it. But again, I think the hardest thing is exactly what you said. You don't know if the quarterback is going to do that. Like, Trevor Lawrence could easily be one of those guys that don't do it. But in that situation, he decides, I'm going to fake slide. Like, you have Sam Darnold did it against the Denver Broncos a couple years ago. He kind of fake slides. Justin Simmons misses a tackle. He continues to run. And I would say overall, Sam Darnold's a guy who slides. But Justin Simmons didn't know. So he kind of breaks down. And then he fakes it and he goes. And I think that's one of those issues. And it wasn't the full, complete fake, but it's that little hesitation by the quarterback where you hesitate. And again, I want to say this situation was not that, but I think it sparks the conversation of how exactly do we help these defenders play in this situation. Obviously, you have to be better than Al-Shaair, but I think there's some gray area in this situation that I'm surprised we don't see bad hits, not as bad as that, but that we don't see this happen more often. It's a credit to defenders really understanding how to play it, but it's a hard situation because we do see, like Mahomes has done it over and over again, big plays in games because guys aren't 100% sure what's about to happen with him.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.